Mr. Speaker, we have the opportunity today to pass that will improve the lives of our children, and I believe that we must seize that opportunity. I want to thank Speaker Pelosi and Chairman Miller, Congresswoman DeLauro, Congresswoman McCarthy, and others who have worked so hard on this issue. And I want to say a special thank you to First Lady Michelle Obama. She has been an incredible champion for our children, particularly in the areas of nutrition and obesity. She has challenged us to live up to one of our highest moral obligations, to make sure that the children of this nation have the nutritious food they need to grow, to thrive, and to succeed. Mr. Speaker, as many of my colleagues know, I co-chair both the House Hunger Caucus and the Congressional Hunger Center. And I've said many times that hunger is a political condition. We have the resources to end hunger, particularly childhood hunger. What we need is the political will to make it happen. President Obama has pledged to end childhood hunger in America by 2015. If we support that goal, then we must pass this bill. I hope that the members of this House, all of us, Democrats and Republicans, can come together today to summon the political will necessary to move forward on this issue. There is not a single community in America that is hunger-free. Talk to any food bank. They'll tell you that the demand has never been greater, and far too many of the people who need help are children. The child nutrition bill that we will take up today gives us a chance to provide healthy meals to hundreds of thousands of children who need them. It's also important to remember that hunger and obesity are two sides of the same coin. The fact is that highly processed, empty-calorie foods are less expensive than fresh, nutritious foods. That's why so many families are forced to make unhealthy choices. This bill increases the reimbursement to schools for meals by 6 cents a meal. 6 cents. And that's the first increase in 30 years. The first increase in 30 years. Too often, the only nutritious food our kids get is in a school setting. And this bill also increases access to after-school programs. And the bill helps communities to establish farm-to-school networks, which are not just good for children, but they're also good for our local farmers. Now, it's no secret, Mr. Speaker, that I've had concerns with how this bill is paid for. And I remind my colleagues that this bill is fully paid for. The cuts to the SNAP or food stamp program don't make a lot of sense to me. I don't believe we should be taking access to food away from some people in order to provide it for others. But we have been assured repeatedly by the President and the White House that they will work with us to restore these cuts. And I look forward to working with the administration and my colleagues to make sure that the White House lives up to that commitment. And quite frankly, if I did not believe that that commitment to restore SNAP funding was real, I would have had a hard time voting for the underlying legislation. Mr. Speaker, this bill, the exact same piece of legislation, passed unanimously in the Senate. Every single member of the Senate, including a who's who of the most conservative Republicans, voted to support reauthorizing our child nutrition programs. Unfortunately, from what I heard in the Rules Committee last night, that probably won't happen today in the House. Some of my friends on the other side of the aisle have no problem expanding wasteful weapon systems. They have no problem expanding tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires on Wall Street. But apparently, some of them have a problem with expanding access to nutritious food for our children. They say it's an outrageous example of big government, or that a high school basketball team would be prohibited from having a bake sale. Nonsense. Utter nonsense. As the president of the National PTA has said, and let me quote, "The measure will effectively eliminate the constant presence of junk food in school while allowing reasonable practices like the periodic PTA or other school group fundraisers, such as bake sales and the sale of hot dogs and soda at after-school sporting events," end quote. An extra few $1,000,000 for a hedge fund manager who doesn't need it? No problem, some of my Republican friends say. But heaven forbid we spend another 6 cents to make sure our kids have a more healthy school. Those may be their priorities, Mr. Speaker, but they're not mine. And they're not the priorities of the people of my district. Some of my friends on the other side will say that they want no children in our country to go hungry. Fair enough. Here's their opportunity to put their vote where their rhetoric is. Here's their opportunity to demonstrate that their concern for the hungry in this country is more than just lip service. Mr. Speaker, I understand the politics here. It's pretty simple. If the President's for it, my Republican friends are against it. But I would ask them, and I would plead with them, to check those politics at the door just this once. Please don't sacrifice an opportunity to improve the lives of millions of our children on the altar of partisan politics. The need to act is clear. Our moral obligation is clear. Our children are getting sicker and sicker and sicker. If kids don't have enough nutritious food to eat, they don't learn. We are wasting millions and millions of dollars on health care for diseases like diabetes and heart disease that are preventable with healthier diets. Today we can begin to turn that tide. Please join us in doing the right thing, and I urge my colleagues to support this rule and the underlying bill, and I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman